Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about my standing wheelchair. Obviously, you know that if you are paralyzed, it's a really good thing to get some weight bearing on your legs. The best way to do that is obviously to stand. This is my standing wheelchair. A couple of years ago, right after my accident, I tested out a couple standing wheelchairs. One was called the Levo, L-E-V-O, really nice standing wheelchair. The only bad thing is it's about 10,000 bucks or something ridiculous like that. Obviously, I couldn't afford that. Insurance wouldn't pay for it. So I started searching around, got on eBay, got on Craigslist, and this was a wheelchair that I found in Indiana. So it was about a couple hours away from me. A guy was selling it on Craigslist, and I ended up paying a lot more than I think it was probably worth. This thing's probably about 10 years old. It's battery operated. It's got a power lift that actually you use these two buttons to lift it up and set it down. I had to replace the tires because they were completely, they were so old that they were just like falling apart. So I, put my original wheels that were used to be on this chair, and had to replace the front casters and stuff like that. Had to replace the battery pack, but I mean, it's big and clunky, but it does what I need it to do. I think this chair weighs about 90 pounds. The chair that I use on a daily basis is only about 35 pounds. So with that said, it's kind of hard to get around, but I mean, like I said, it does exactly what I need it to do. To start the transfer, I just get as close to the side of it as I can, and then I'll lock in. The hardest part about this chair, it seems like they made this chair for somebody who could actually stand up, which obviously doesn't make any sense. This foot plate usually, flips up for somebody who wants to sit down, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The hardest part is to clear this. So I usually put one leg over that, and then I'll just kind of lift over, get my legs positioned. So then what this has is these little things that go in front of your knees. That way when you stand up, obviously you want to keep your knees locked in place. Obviously this isn't going to be a problem. So I lock these two things, and then they buckle together. Again, not nearly as nice as that Levo wheelchair that I tried, but hey, for what I could afford, it's what I could afford, and it's going to work for me. So I'll usually just fold this down. It has a chest strap that comes across, and this keeps you from, when you're actually standing up, falling forward. And I usually just fold this down. And all you have to do is push a button. So once I get to the full incline position, come over here. I wanted to show you. I'm not standing, a perfect 90 degrees. I think it's more like 85, I want to say. But the good thing is I am getting, weight bearing on my legs. I can lean on these, which is pretty nice. Or if I want to, lean these up to reach for something, I can do that. Typically, when I use this, I'm watching TV. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put my laptop computer on a table, and kind of, I can go up to the dining room table and just sit there and use my laptop. Where this comes in really handy is obviously if I need to get to anything. It's not just a standing frame, so it's not in a fixed location. I can move it, I can get into counters or cabinets and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you now, what I'll actually use it for. So say I want to go over to the counter and get into the cabinet. All I have to do is lower it down. I actually don't even have to lower it down all the way. As long as I can get to the wheels itself, I can wheel around. So I usually kind of lower it about to that point, pop the brakes off. The brakes I really don't need to keep on even when I stand up. I just had them on initially because it helps with the transfer. I've used this before, like for cooking and stuff. I had a big pot on the stove, and when you're sitting in a regular chair, you can't actually see down into the pot and see what you're doing. So this chair came in pretty handy. So like say I want to get up to these cabinets, I get as close as I can. These cabinets are pretty tricky to get to, you know, for anybody, even in a standing wheelchair. But even, you know, when I'm standing, I'm up a little higher so I can get into these cabinets. You know, I can reach for something that would be on the top shelf. I can still get in that cabinet pretty easily. So that's handy for that. Another thing I've used this for, I've actually hung pictures on the wall with this. My flat screen TV, I was able to, you know, actually put the mount up for that. I wasn't able to hang the actual TV, but I can hang the mount. I can change light bulbs, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that obviously you need to stand for. This standing chair made me able to use this shelf a lot better. Before, you know, I would have to have somebody else get anything down for me. Now obviously I can reach stuff. I can actually use this area a lot better than I used to, so that's cool. So yeah, just wanted to show you the standing wheelchair. Like I said, I use it, you know, I try to use it as much as possible. A lot of the times it kind of turns into kind of like, you know, home workout equipment. You don't use it as much as you initially say you're going to, but it is beneficial when I actually get around to using it. Sometimes when I get home after a full day of work, it's the last thing I want to do is actually sit here and stand. But, you know, I use it as much as I need to. So thanks a lot. If you have any questions, let me know.